Hi, and welcome to this quick video on coping skills. I think we are all well aware by now that the world is too much, that there is just too much going on around the globe for us to process and integrate and deal with on a regular basis. And it's another video for another time when it comes to disconnecting from it all and really developing practices in our lives to really control the flow of stress and information that's coming at us. So that's another subject altogether. Today, I just want to throw out a number of different tools that you can try out and use to just deal with the stresses of life when your kids are having issues at school, or you're trying to deal with the pressures of all that needs to be done to help them to be successful in that environment, or you've got stuff going on at work. Pretty much every business on the face of the earth right now is still dealing with some form of shortages or short staffing and things like that. So work is tough. If you work for yourself, there are ridiculously intense pressures that come with that. So yeah, there's just no shortage of stressors. And when you are overwhelmed and you just feel like you're not doing okay, that is not the time when you can generally come up with all of these great ideas about things that you can do to feel better. So hopefully this video serves as a tool that you can bookmark and save so that when you are feeling out of sorts and you really just genuinely don't know what to do, you can come back, check this out, and somewhere in this collection of things I'm going to offer you, there'll be something that you can use in that moment that you'll find helpful. All right. So let's just kind of go through a number of different tools one by one. And I'll make this quick so this doesn't take up a lot of your time. Number one is the simplest tool that I teach people, and that is what we call extended exhales. Really quickly, when you breathe in deeply, you are activating your sympathetic nervous system and getting ready to fight or run. So it's not exactly a calming thing. What actually calms you is your exhale. It's your exhale that actually activates your parasympathetic nervous system. So a really quick and easy tool that you can use is to simply do what I call extended exhales. So what I do is I breathe in for a count of 5 and then out for a count of 8. Now you can make this look however it works for you. You can breathe in and out through your nose. You can breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. You can do a different count. Maybe you need to build up to that: in for 5, out for 8. Maybe you might want to start with in for 3, out for 4. So play with different versions of this. And as you practice it more and more, you'll be able to develop longer and longer exhales. Sometimes I'll just breathe in. I won't even count. I'll just breathe in and then I'll just exhale for as long as I possibly can, breathing out and breathing out and breathing out until I completely empty my lungs. So play with it and find something that works for you. So that's number one, extended exhales. Number two, definitely recommend all the awesome apps that are out there now for mindfulness meditation. So there is the Shine app, which is particularly created by and targeting to Black and Indigenous people of color. There's also the Calm app, and there's also Headspace. So those are probably the top 3 that I usually recommend. So let this be your reminder that if you have one of those apps on your phone, check it out and find meditations that really work for you, that are calming and soothing. Another tool that you can consider is to pick up the phone and call a friend. If you're anything like me, I don't like the phone. So everybody knows in my world not to call me. So this might not be a tool that's helpful for everybody, but even if you are not somebody that gets on the phone very often, this may be a time for you to consider picking up the phone and calling somebody and saying, listen, I'm overwhelmed. I just need to process some things out loud right now. Do you have space to do that with me? Or maybe you can text somebody first and say, hey, I'm needing somebody to process with. Do you have space for that? Can I call you? So that's another one. A fourth one that is very soothing and regulating is something called compassion holes. So I'll move through those holes really quickly for you so that you can see what I'm talking about. And then I'll post a link below that will take you to a picture that shows you the 5 different positions of compassion holes, so that if you want to try it on your own, you can. So compassion holes, what are those? It is just a very simple exercise that utilizes the power of touch. Our skin is wired to receive touch in a way that regulates our emotions and our physiology. Now, for some people who have been through traumatic situations, touch can sometimes become rewired to not be experienced as soothing. And so compassion holes can be a way to access the power of touch, but not have to engage trauma triggers. So it's using your own hands in gentle touch to calm your physiology. So it starts with just hands on the side of your face. And I don't know if you've ever noticed that sometimes when you're stressed and you're overwhelmed, you just sort of naturally kind of go like this. And maybe you set your hands down in your face. You're engaging intuitively this tool, right? So this is just you doing it more mindfully. So you gently place your hands on the side of your face and you focus on that gentle touch. I often tell people, use the same kind of touch that you would use with a little child. So very gentle, very soothing. And you just kind of take some breaths in that position. You can use extended exhales with this. Position number 2 is hand on the forehead and hand on the back of your head. Position number 3 is to move this hand down to your heart. Position number 4 is to move this hand down to your abdomen. And then finally, position number 5 is to move this hand to the back of your head. So you just slowly move through those 5 positions. You use gentle touch. You can combine it with extended exhales. And that touch, that soothing touch, absolutely calms your physiology and can be very soothing. Okay, so we've talked about extended exhales, mindfulness meditations, calling a friend, compassion holes. Number 5 is yoga. You can find some restorative yoga sessions right here on our YouTube channel or on our Instagram account. If you go to our Instagram account and you go to one of our highlights, you'll see several yoga sessions there, and they're all restorative yoga, which is designed to really calm the central nervous system. So that's another tool. Number 6, if you are a person with some faith background, then I absolutely suggest honest, candid prayer. So speaking with your higher power, however you define it, but honestly and candidly. I think a lot of times in many faith traditions, we learn very formal prayer and we feel like we have to come before our higher power with, sort of our act together. But I really encourage people in their faith to develop a more authentic conversation and relationship with their higher power, because that can be very calming and soothing when you feel like you're able to share your heart with that higher power in an authentic way. All right, number 7 is journaling. Just sitting down and whatever journaling format works for you. So don't think of journaling as just this one way where you sit down and you're like, today I did blah, 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 and you kind of like talk about it. No, that's not the only form of journaling. Journaling can look like sitting down and just drawing whatever comes to your mind and letting the art speak for what is going on. Journaling can be bullet point lists where you just literally list the things that are on your mind right now, the things that are of concern to you, but you don't really go into a lot of detail of writing. It becomes sort of a way to download what is rolling around in your brain, because once you put it on a list, the brain can let go of it, right? So it could be bullet point lists. It can be just random words that come to your mind. So you can just kind of take a piece of paper and just randomly write the words that are coming to your mind and just put it down on paper. And it may look to someone else disjointed. It doesn't make sense. What's going on here? But for you, it's very effective because it gets stuff out of your brain and onto paper. And once it's on paper in whatever format you want to use, it allows your brain to let go of it, right? And who doesn't need a good download? Most of us these days. All right, last thing. And maybe, I don't know, I don't want to say it's the most important, but I'm going to say it's a biggie. The last thing is play. Think about the things that you enjoyed doing as a little kid. What were the ways in which you had fun? What did your play look like? And do that now. So if there were games that you enjoyed, pull out one of those games. See if somebody will play that game with you. If there were toys that you really love to play with, treat yourself to some of those toys and tuck them away in the closet so that in times like this, when you are feeling like overwhelmed and you really just need to disconnect, you can get those toys out and just sit down and play with them. I know it might feel weird, but I'm telling you, it works. If you loved coloring, keep some coloring books around. So return to the things that brought you joy as a child and engage those things now. It gives you such an opportunity to disconnect from the stressors of your current adult life and re-engage joy, the joy of being a child. So I hope that somewhere in this collection that I've given you today, there is something that you can use right now, right here, to just calm and soothe and de-stress. Because our worlds these days are full of opportunities to do that. So thanks for being with me, and I hope this has been helpful.